I'm Swati. I'm a dog mom and your host for today. Today we're shooting the next episode of the Good Breed podcast by Zigly. Today we have with us Dr. Nikhil and a very special guest. Wait and see who comes in.
Hi guys.
Hello.
So we have Garima with us with Snowy. Garima is a new pet parent who has just adopted Snowy. She has a lot of questions and Dr. Nikhil is going to help us with them. So, hi Garima, how are you doing?
Great.
Hi Snowy, how are you? Snowy is an adorable baby. So tell me, how did you come up to adopt this one? Why did you adopt him?
So there was a case in which one of my friend got Chester, golden retriever. He fell in love with a lab, Scarlet, and they got 6 puppies, in which he was the first one, and nobody was adopting him just because of the 1 ear cut.
Yeah.
And that's why I got him.
So guys, I want to let you guys know that Garima works with us in Zigly and our office is actually a pet-friendly office. So Snowy comes to office every day. And today, Garima, I want to know from you that is this the first pet that you've gotten?
No, I have one rescue dog named Bobo. He is also a lab, 8 years. And I got him at when he was 1. And that time he has the tumor and lots of things was there. And we rescued him and he is staying with us. And because he is adult and he just bite him every time.
Okay.
So they both.
So they stay together?
Yeah.
Okay. To all our listeners and people who are watching this podcast, I want to literally show you this example, and this is one of the reasons that we wanted to do this podcast. Is that at Zigly and with Pets Familiar, we've been pushing for adoptions. There are a lot of pets who need adoption. Regularly, we do our adoption drives at the Zigly Center. So we would really encourage all you people to adopt, and you can very clearly see how happy Snowy is and how happy Garima is.
And how happy we are. So
And yes, and how happy we are since Snowy has come into the office and in Garima's life.
Thank you guys.
So Garima, as a new pet parent,
Yeah.
and especially with a pet who is adopted, what are your concerns? What are the problems that you're facing?
Yeah, to be honest, first of all, this is the first puppy and I never had the feeling of a mom. Now I have lots of responsibility. I can't go just like that to anywhere. I have to take care of him very well. Instead of packing my food, I have to pack his food first.
That is true.
And the timing of fooding and meals, that gave me a very much of problem because sometimes he just eat and sleep.
Okay. So I think my question to you, Dr. Nikhil, will be that
What would be the ideal?
what is how many times should a puppy like this be fed, and how much should a puppy like this be fed?
Okay, so a normal dog or cat, basically a dog, they are till 6 months of age. They can be fed from 3 to 4 times a day.
Okay.
After 6 months, it's completely upon the pet parent how comfortable they are with the diet and spacing of it. Sometimes, in some cases, it is very necessary for the dogs to be fed at regular intervals, but small quantity of foods. But a general rule of thumb which we give all across is after 6 months of age, they can be fed 3 or twice a day.
Okay, so Dr. Nikhil, coming to the second question, how much should a puppy like this be fed?
Okay, so usually in such cases, like when you have a puppy who is 2 to 3 months old, they're either on a puppy starter or on a puppy meal. So if you turn it on the back or on the side of the back of the meal that you're giving him, you'll usually find a stats on the basis of what their adult weight would be. And then they have also mentioned about how much they should get in a day. What people do confuse it, that they do not see that it's mentioned that it's for a day, or is it for a meal, so that you have to make sure that when it's said in a day, you can then bifurcate or trifurcate into how many meals that you need to give him.
Thanks, that's
Okay.
great help.
Garima, tell me something in terms of behavior, because puppies are really, really naughty. Is there, right now he's not being naughty, I think right now he's just being sleepy. But is he a naughty dog or is he a naughty puppy?
No, not at all. I feel like he's responsible enough. Whenever I feel so tired and all, he never comes me and bite me. He just calmly sits beside me, and which is very like
Kind of
calming.
comforts.
I think that I think you're really, really lucky to have a puppy like that, because puppies can be very,
Exactly.
very naughty.
Actually, I can tell you, sorry to bother you, overnights. There is an issue when AC isn't full on and he sometimes feels so cold. Then he just cuddles with me. Then I get to know that he is feeling very cold. Then I stop the AC. Then again he feels so hot.
Mhm.
So either he is confused or I don't know what's the puppy's behavior.
I
about
think
it.
Dr. Nikhil, this is a very interesting
Yes, it
question, because as puppies, and especially right now in Delhi, because the climate right now, it starts raining and then it becomes really hot, and we've discussed this in our last podcast also, that sudden temperature changes are very dangerous for pets. So, what is your suggestion for a puppy this age and this type? What is the kind of temperature that should be maintained, and he should be kept in that kind of temperature?
So 2-3 things. One, there shouldn't be a direct source of air which is in direct contact with the puppy. The other thing that you need to make sure that the temperature is always set in a manner which is kind of bearable for them, like something around 24 to 25, which might not suit us humans. We like to put ACs really low, like 19 or something, but for them, a 25 or 26 is something that's ideal and which we can also tolerate well. So, but in general, if they feel cold or something, it's very common for them to kind of huddle against their pet parents. They kind of feel a bonded and inkling to be with someone they love. So it's completely, it could be also the need and of that warmth which comes from the mother that he comes back to you. It's not just the basic.
This was actually my next question to you. That at night, like Garima said, that he has a habit of coming to her and waking her up. Is that also because he's a puppy and right now he needs
Yes.
mother love, and that is what he's identifying Garima with?
Yes.
So it necessarily is not about the AC.
Yes.
It can also be about
The
just
bond
the
he's
attention
forming.
and the bond.
Yes, it could be one of the reasons, but that is how Labradors in general are as well. They like to be with their mothers and they like to be with the company. They are pack animals in the end of the day, so that is what they seek to be with, a kind of a support system or someone who they can be next to.
Another question that I actually wanted to ask you is that Snowy is a very, very special puppy,
Yes.
and especially because of his ear.
Yes.
Is there anything that Garima should be careful about?
Yes. So one thing Garima needs to be careful about is this ear in particular. You need to just keep intact that he is completely clean. His ears are clean on that area. You can also keep checking now and then, is there some kind of a bleeding or something going on from that area. So though it is completely healed and everything is fine, but always try to make sure that no infection or something grows on from there.
Okay. Garima, with Snowy, since the time Snowy has come, with the new pet, there are multiple things that you have to take care of: vaccination, grooming, training. Is there anything that you need help with, or you are confused, or you have questions about?
Yeah, actually, medical terms I don't know much because I never had drug and medicals in my life. So, some people told me about this puppies have the calcium issues because they just
It
have
displays.
like.
So, as he's a mix of a lab and a retriever, they do have some bone issues, which I
Okay.
guess your other peers were trying to tell you about.
Okay.
One of them is hip dysplasia. hip dysplasia, if put in simple terms, is basically means that the hip is not normal as it should be. Okay, so in that what happens is they also feel pain when they're trying to lift themselves up or trying to do some strenuous exercise. Largely, when you see these cases, you see them in around 1 to 1.5 years of age, and then in a very later year of when they are later in life. So initially, they do require calcium, but only appropriate amount, as we were talking earlier about as well, because a lot of calcium can also cause malformation of these joints again, because if you're giving a lot of calcium and the cartilage, the thing that protects the bone and directly coming in contact with another bone is a cartilage. It's a kind of a covering that is there that cannot completely cover up the bone, and then it causes a problem again. Okay, so giving an appropriate amount of calcium is very important. Whenever you go to your vet, that is something that every parent should actually discuss with their vets. Like, is this amount enough, or are we giving too less or too much? So that is something that you should for sure ask your vet about.
Another question that I want to ask you, Dr. Nikhil, and this question is actually coming because Snowy is a mix of a lab and a retriever. And one thing that we've noticed with these kind of breeds is that as puppies they're so cute, and just look at him, right now sitting in her lap. And generally what happens is as puppies they're so cute, everybody wants to take them in their lap and wants to keep them in their lap. But they grow up really fast. And then they grow up into these big dogs who are about 30 kgs, and even then they don't understand their size and they want to still sit in your lap. So what is your suggestion to Garima for this?
Largely, as they mature up, say from 6 months to 1 year of age, there is this transition that themselves they try to develop into. But sometimes they kind of have this bond with the pet parent that they just cannot let go of. Though they have grown up and they realize it, but they still think of you as someone who will always be a mother figure or something of that sort. So in that case, it's very necessary to start putting up some boundaries. If you do not do that at that age or at that point, chances are that you will be stuck with his puppy behavior for you for rest of your life. So that is why it's very necessary for parents to also understand that when to have discussion with a behaviorist, especially when it comes to potty or poop training.
Yes.
So that is something that as is necessary for you to discuss nutrition, so it's very necessary for you to also discuss your pet's behavior. Because your pet is your responsibility towards not only you but also the society.
Definitely.
So that you have to.
Right. So one question was that, so Garima, to sum up what Dr. Nikhil just said, is that right now it is a lot of fun keeping him in your lap.
Yes.
Because he's hardly 5 kgs right now. But once he becomes 30 kgs, it's going to be tough. So you have to start putting boundaries right now itself. Another problem with breeds like this is that they don't they don't have any filter in terms of you can keep feeding them and they will keep eating.
Yes.
And as pet parents, we we feel that is so sweet, and right now especially because he's a puppy,
Yes.
we feel that we can maybe ये भूखा है, इसको अभी और खाने की जरूरत है, मांग रहा है, दे देना चाहिए. What is your suggestion to Garima for something like that?
Yes, in initial or formative ages of puppies, it is very important that their weight is kept in check. As I was telling you about, that there is a tendency for him, that because he's a large breed, of him developing bone-related issues a lot. If he is obese or is overweight, he will put a lot of weight on his already poor formed bones. So that will also adversely affect him. So it's very necessary for them to have that kind of development, a proper normal development. Obese pets, though they look very cute, especially in puppy form, but it largely in later stages of their life becomes very, very problematic for not only you but also for the pet. Because in hip dysplasia, if your dog is obese, you will have to basically lift him every time. Though that is something that you should do because you are taking care of your pet. But one of the way of taking care of your pet is also to make sure that they do not become overweight.
Okay, Garba, is there any other concern that as a pet parent?
Yeah,
you
when is
have?
the right time to make him meet the streeties? Like, because there are lots of streeties around my house. They want to meet him and they want to play with him because they taking me as a dog lover.
Okay.
So
So there is some kind of problem to it because your pet needs to be fully vaccinated in order to meet those pets. But the ideal time for him to socialize with any pet is from 90 days to 120 days. And your vaccination gets over around 110 to 100 days of age. So that gives you a very narrow margin for him to introduce him to other street dogs. So if case you have some street dogs who you are completely sure are vaccinated with anti-rabies and DHPPI, those dogs are those ones you can easily let him meet. But that's a very valid point because he needs to be well and confident around other pets as well.
exactly.
So you need in that scenario, what you can do is you can bring him to those pets who you already know are completely
Okay,
vaccinated.
like a house party of pets.
Yes, yes.
So, coming to socialization, and socialization in puppies is very, very important.
Yes.
And this is probably the right age to do it.
start. Yes.
In fact, and this is why we actually started the initiative of Papa Parties
Yes.
at Zigly. And I think the next time it happens, you should get Snowy there because we feel that socialization not only with humans but with other animals is very important because dogs at the end of it are pack animals.
Yes.
And unfortunately for us, it gets very difficult to keep more than 2-3 dogs at home.
Yes.
The good thing is that I think Snowy already has a dog
Ah,
at home.
exactly.
So there is already Bobo who is
Elder
he is socializing with him.
That's why it's proper party.
That's Papa Party. So you should get Snowy to Papa Parties and make him meet other puppies. And slowly, once he gets comfortable with the idea of meeting other animals and other pets, then you can get him to start socializing with the streeties once his vaccinations are complete, I think.
Yes.
Sure, thanks. I will share the images of Bobo parties.
Thank you so much. I think it was
Thank you so
lovely
much.
having you and Snowy has just been such a darling, and he has just been so calm
And sleepy.
and sleepy. For a lab to be that calm and a lab puppy to be that calm, I think you're very, very lucky.
Yes.
I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I hope it helped new pet parents. And if you have any questions, please write into us. And signing off, thank you so much.